Welcome to my shop. I'm going to show you how to make a simple and accurate wedgie sled set to make a 12 segmented ring. First we'll need a 3/4 inch thick plywood for the sled base, 2 parallel fences, these are made out of plywood, a 15-degree wedgie template or a 30-60-90 drafting triangle. This will produce a 12-sided ring. A miter slot runner, double-sided tape, a few wood screws, and a drill. Start by lowering the blade for safety. Move the rip fence just to the right of the blade. Apply double-sided tape to the runner. Place the sled base against the rip fence. Slowly lower the sled down onto the double-sided tape and press it down firmly. You can screw it in now or just use it with the double-sided tape. Square the wedgie up with the sled. Position the first fence on the lower side against the wedgie and slide it to the edge of the sled, just past the edge of the sled. Secure the fence with 2 screws. Now the runner and the first fence are permanently in place. Move the wedgie or triangle past the edge of the sled and hold it against the first fence. Make sure that there's a big enough gap for the wood stock that you'll be using to fit in between the 2 wedgies. Place the second fence on the opposite side of the wedgie. Place the second fence tightly against the wedgie and hold it against the first fence. It's important that there are no gaps. Once everything is aligned, screw the second fence in place. Next, raise the blade and cut a line through the side of the sled. This gives you a 0 clearance cutting edge. Your wedgie sled is complete. Now let's look at one that I've added some safety features to. This is the same sled as we just constructed, but for safety I've added a blade guard to separate hands from the blade. I've added a segmented return stop to catch and return your cut pieces so your hands do not have to go over top of the blade, and a handle for safer control. Let's make a 6-inch diameter ring. Doing the calculations, we'll need the radius of the ring, which is 3 inches. The radius is equal to 3 inches. Next, let's find the circumference of a 6-inch ring. The formula is 2 times pi, which is 3.14, times the radius. We're just going to use 3 inches for pi, so to make it simple, we're going to take 2 times 3, which is 6, for pi, so all we have to do to remember is 6, times the radius, 3, which is 18. Divide 18 by 12 segments, and we get about 1.5 inches. That's going to be close enough for what we're doing. We don't need to worry about any other calculations. Everything will come off of this first ring, or this one ring. Next, let's mark a squiggly line on the face grain and a straight line on the side grain of the stick. The stick is a 1 inch by 1.25 inches wide by about 20 inches long. The extra length is for holding safety. Cut your first angle. Then mark an 1.5 inches from the angled edge and set your stop block to match. Now, cut 12 identical segments. Sand any fuzzies that you see while you're cutting that may interfere with the segment length. Assembling the ring. Align the squiggly lines on one side of each segment to face one side. Alternate the straight lines and the blanks on the small ends of the segments. The blue tape is there just to hold the segments in place until you can apply the glue, put them in a circle to make a ring, and put the clamp around and clamp them. Cut the tape back from the edge so the tape does not interfere with the joint. Wrap the tape into a circle. Check your joints. If your cuts are consistent, they'll close up tight. Apply the hose clamp around the ring and tighten to get proper squeeze out. Adjust segments and try to make the ring as flat as possible. And that's it. Your basic wedgie sled is ready and you have a perfect 12 segment ring with a 6-inch diameter.